Looks like he's getting serious, but should you summon for LR Phy Paikuhan? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are taking a look at the Part 2 LR for the April celebration. That is the LR Phy Paikuhan. This guy is dropping on the 16th at 7 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. That is about 18 hours from the release of this video. So in this video, we have to answer that age-old question. Should you summon for LR Phy Paikuhan? In order to answer that question, we're going to take a look at three major factors. Number one, we're going to take a look at the unit itself. Is the unit good enough to justify a summon? Next, we're going to take a look at the banner. Now, we don't know exactly who's on the banner, but we can make a pretty good prediction and tell ourselves, is it worth our summon? Will the things on that banner be worth our summon? And then finally, all right, we are in the unknown, but we will do our best to take a look at what lies ahead to determine if anything we spend on this banner is worth over something that might be coming in the near future. So let's go ahead and let's hop on in and let's take a look at the unit. We have the unpredictable, powerful technique LR Phy Paikuhan. He is the first yellow coin LR post 10th anniversary, and as such he has received the upgraded 200% boost for yellow coin LRs. He has an Other World Warriors and Saviors category key 3 HP attack DPS 200%. He is now officially a Carnival LR, or at least one from the previous meta. On his 18 key, he is greatly raising attack, massively raising defense for the turn, causing mega colossal damage and greatly lowering attack. On his 12 key, he is greatly raising attack and defense for the turn, causing colossal damage to the enemy and greatly lowering defense. On his passive skill, he's getting key 3 and attack defense 250% with a high chance of evading enemies' attack, randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow key spheres. When there is another Other World Warriors or tournament participant ally attacking in the same turn, he gives all allies key 3 and attack defense 40%. As the second attacker in the turn, he gives Other World Warriors or tournament participant category allies damage reduction rate 10% for 2 turns. This is once only. As the second or third attacker in the turn, he guards all attacks, high chance of performing a critical hit, and launches an additional attack that has a 50% chance of becoming a super attack, along with an additional 20% chance of evading enemy's attack. And when attacking with 18 or more key, he gets an extra 150% attack and defense. He doesn't have an active skill that can be activated from the 4th turn, and he gets serious. That's it. That's all he says. It's essentially the costume change mechanic. Although labeled differently, it's considered a transformation, but it's more or less that. So it doesn't, the active skill itself doesn't do anything other than enable the transformation. Now once he gets serious, his 18 key is massively raising attack and defense for the turn, causing mega colossal damage, and his 12 key is greatly raising attack and defense for the turn, causing colossal damage and greatly lowering defense. His basic effects are key 5 attack and defense 300%, guards all attacks, great chance of evading enemies attacks, great chance of performing a critical hit, and an additional key 2 per rainbow key sphere obtained. He randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow key spheres, and before receiving an attack in the turn, he gets key 3 and chance of evading enemy's attack additional 10%. When attacking, he gets an additional 50% attack and defense. When attacking with 12 or more key, he gets 70% attack and defense. When attacking with 18 or more key, he gets a 100% attack and defense. When attacking with 24 key, he gets 150% attack and guaranteed to hit. For every rainbow key sphere obtained, he gets an additional 30% and attack and chance for one critical hit 10%. So, I mean, he's already got a lot going on for him. He's got a great chance to crit. He's got a great chance to evade. He's got guard. Now, the only thing he doesn't have transform is an additional super attack, which I do find weird. But nonetheless, you know, it's still really, really good once he transforms, because he's going to hit some really, really high attack numbers, especially if you manage to get the 24 key and a good amount of rainbow orbs. So really, really awesome Paikuhan is. He's a great addition to the Otherworld Warriors category, which there tend to be a lot of missions for, yet we've never really had a good team to easily clear those missions. But that has changed. So as far as being worth it, I would say yes, that this guy, should you pull on his banner, if you were to pull him, he is a great pickup. He is definitely worth the summon as an individual character. He's not doing a whole lot of extra anything craziness, right? He just kind of is. And honestly, for a category like Otherworld Warriors or some of the other categories he's on, that's kind of exactly what those need. Now, he's not on movie heroes, right? Because this is from the filler arc. So he's not from the Fusion Reborn movie, which means he does get to be on tournament participants, storied figures, Battle of Wits, Worthy Rivals, Saviors, Otherworld Warriors. So like a lot of these categories, like storied figures, tournament participants, especially in a post 220% meta where, you know, the attacks and HP pools have increased, the kind of offense that he would provide to these teams is incredible and very, very much needed. So that's one in the category for the unit itself. But of course, these units do not exist in a vacuum. They will be on a banner, and Paikuhan especially is on one of the worst types of banners, a yellow coin pity banners. Now, there is pity, right? That means on his banner there will be the guaranteed feature to every 3 multis. No 3+1s. There might be discounts on the first rounds, but they haven't really been doing that since they've introduced pity. So it's literally, it's just your standard pity with 12 featured units. So the question is, does that make it worth it? Well, it really depends on who the LRs are. We already know that some of the filler units are going to be, there's going to be 3 LRs as always, and we know that some of the filler units are going to be the STR Paikuhan and the Fizz Super Saiyan Kaioken Goku. So as far as the as far as anything else, I mean, it's probably just going to be random tournament participant filler characters. Not really that relevant to the banner. They're just, I mean, they don't mean much. There's probably not a single one I think could possibly be on the banner that would be really stand out-ish. But the LRs could possibly mean a lot, right? Especially depending on who they put. So first likely candidate is the LR Int Goku Piccolo. And I say this, right, even though the theme is tournament participants, it's possible they could be one of the LRs on his banner because one of his leads is in fact Saviors. And they're one of the few characters, LR characters that are on, that could possibly be on the banner that is on Saviors. Ultimate Gohan, Fizz, Trunks, those are pretty much the only other options. So, I mean, I guess they could put him on there. That would actually be pretty interesting because Nail is also on his leader skill. So, that could actually work really, really well if they put him on there. So that's, I mean, these two are a possibility. I feel like this one's likely because if there is to be an EZA during this Part 2 celebration, they very much would fit the category since we already got a bunch of tournament participant EZAs. As Savior's EZA to fit the other half of his leader skill would be nice, but unlikely. But they could be on the banner. Now, the more likely case is that there's going to be Otherworld Warriors characters on the banners. Now, they'll probably mostly be through like the Kaioken and the STR Paikuhan. There aren't really many other options here in terms of summonable units that could be on it. However, Angel Vegeta is a possibility since he's the only yellow coin LR here that's on Otherworld Warriors. Otherwise, tournament participants is a likely option, but the only real yellow coin option they could put on there that isn't one of the Reps of Universe 7 LRs or Jiren, which again, I really think that that's unlikely. The only other option is Hit and God Goku, and I do think that they could be a likely candidate due to their linkage with Paikuhan. They are one of the few LRs that actually link really well with him, right? Sharing 5 links. So they could possibly be one of the LRs on the banner. The reality is there's not really any other good choices to be his partners on this banner, given the type of character that Paikuhan is and the possibilities. Hidden God Goku could easy 8. It would be really weird for them to do so now, especially because at this point their only lead, their only partner would be the Paikuhan. They would still be on Cell's team, but their only partner would be Paikuhan, and they would. It would just be a weird kind of situation for them until Reps or USS gets a little bit better for the time being, because I mean they will work well together. It seems like an odd choice, but you know, you never know. So those are some of the likely candidates I think could be on the banner, and honestly, I can't really think of anyone who could be on the banner that would make it super great. I think no matter what, just general rule for yellow coin banners, they typically aren't the best banners ever. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that's a no in the category for summon for the banner. There's just not really any, due to the type of banner that yellow coins are, there's not really anything that they could put on here that would make it super duper worth your summon. So we've got one for the unit, and we've got one for what's on the banner, one against summoning for what's on the banner. So all that leaves is to look at what lies ahead. And unfortunately, we are in the unknown. We don't know what's coming, but we can make some pretty good guesses based on previous years to kind of know what we're giving up. So up next is more than likely going to be the Golden Week campaign, and I believe last year we got confirmation on what it was going to be on the 23rd, so that's about 7 days from today. So I mean, you know, in about a week's time we'll know who the Golden Week units are. So chances are they're going to be really, really good. If we compare them to last year and years prior, chances are they're going to be a really, really good option. However, they do tend to return very quickly. They will return during the worldwide celebration. So that may be something worth considering. Knowing that they'll return so quickly and Paikuhan not so likely, it's very, you know, you might be willing to give up, you know, whoever the Golden Week units end up being in a little less than a week. Otherwise, right, following that, the month of June will introduce another Dokkan Fest and Part 2 LR. So last year that was the Fizz Goku Black and the Part 2 Cell Max. Their banners weren't exactly the greatest. I mean, this returned 21, I think, for JP, and that's pretty much it. Like, it wasn't the greatest banner. It had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 featured units. Of course, whatever it is for us now will have pity, which means 10 featured units. So I mean, June typically not the greatest place to be summoning anyways. And the Part 2 Cell Max ended up being pretty decent. Cell Max himself was good, but the rest of his banner not so much. But the point that he released, the only good thing about his banner was Frieza. These two pretty much it by the time he released, right? Triku was Triku. By this point, Goku Black had sort of aged out, so there really weren't too many options on the banner that really stood out. So chances are this year's Part 2 in June will be the same scenario. So that'll probably be a no summon as well, which only leaves what comes after that, and that of course will be the Tanabata banner in the beginning of July, which would have been previously and well, actually just before the end of July, beginning of July, at the end of June, all right, just before what would have been Global's next anniversary, but we're shared now, so that's no big deal. We get the Tanabata banner. So last year this was a Tech UI Goku. His banner was all right, right? It had UI, it had Dispo, who ended up being really good. We definitely underestimated him, and it had 3 powerful easy A's, right? That from the 9th anniversary, the 6 years, and then the Blue Kaioken and Evolution Blue. Like, they were great units. So, I mean, honestly, his banner ended up being really, really, really good. Now, this banner is probably not going to have pity, so something to be aware of. Like, you might be saving for Tanabata, and knowing that there won't be pity, you know, a summon on Paikon, no matter how good he is, might be given up something you may have wanted for Tanabata. To that note, right, the actual Tanabata banner itself, right, just only a week after the release of the LR banner, they will release this banner, which will not only return the new units, putting them on a separate banner, it will increase the amount of featured units, but give you a chance to pull back, in this case, one of the 10th anniversary LRs. So for us now, that'll be Vegito or Gogeta. So if you're somebody who missed them during the 10th anniversary, you may want to consider saving up for this point, because those units are far and away some of the best in the game, and it may not be such a good idea to wait any further to grab them. So honestly, knowing what lies ahead, that's kind of a tough one. I would say, given this is the hard part. Knowing what lies ahead, we'll just say that there's really nothing on the horizon aside from Tanabata that you should really be concerned about. Golden Week units return too soon at this point, now that we're on JP's schedule, that Tanabata is pretty much going to be the only thing you're concerned about. So with that in mind, I would say you don't want to be spending too much on Paikon. You want to be saving up for that, because whatever you spend there, you also have to consider that worldwide is shortly thereafter. So that unfortunately puts a no in the category of summon for Paikon, for what lies ahead. It's too big of a risk right now, and knowing that he is a yellow coin LR, he will very likely make his return featured on one of the worldwide banners. So as hard as it is for me to say, this is another big no summon, and he is really good, don't get me wrong, but I do think you should probably hold your stones for either Golden Week or Tanabata coming up soon. That is just my personal opinion, kind of based on what we see and what we can know to come forward. So I will say one last thing, that this is a pity banner. There are, you know, every third multi you get a feature multi, plus of course there will be the guaranteed featured tickets, right? Since it is a yellow coin banner, we already know this from the data download, there will be guaranteed featured tickets. Actually, we could probably pull that up here. If we go, let's see here, Proton. Yep. Yeah, so on global there are guaranteed featured tickets. We can see them right here, and that's like the 30 units, and then you have a guaranteed featured unit off the banner, and then of course there is pity coins, right? 200 coins will get you a unit, will get you one copy of the Paikon, however much that takes you to get to. So I mean, if you're somebody who spends, definitely don't go probably too much further than the tickets, and then 1 or 2 rounds, continue to save. As for everyone else, no matter what stones you're at, it's a big fat save. So guys, that is it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and in the comments down below, let us know, will you be summoning for LR Phy Paikuhan? I personally will probably try to get a copy of him, probably no more than that. Again, my full recommendation is that this is a save for a future banner, now that we are in the area of the unknown. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.